Ecuador, these questions were not merely philosophical, they were the gateway to a vision that would forever alter her life and challenge the beliefs of millions. For 23 hours, Angelica walked in a place beyond our mortal understanding, where she encountered the divine and the damned. This is her story, a journey through heaven and hell, a vision that transcends the physical world, and a message that echoes through the ages. Angelica Zambrano was an ordinary young woman, born into a humble family in Ecuador. She was known for her deep faith, a strong connection to her Christian beliefs, and her fervent desire to understand God's will. Angelica had always felt a pull toward the spiritual world, sensing that there was more to life than what met the eye. Her days were filled with prayer, reflection, and a yearning to know more about the mysteries of the afterlife. One evening, after a particularly intense prayer session, Angelica began to feel unwell. A strange sensation crept over her, one that she couldn't explain. It was as if her body was becoming heavier, her vision blurred, and her thoughts were consumed by a single, overwhelming feeling: she was being called. That night, she slipped into an unconscious state, her breathing shallow and her heart barely beating. As her physical body lay still, Angelica's spirit was suddenly lifted from her earthly form. She looked down to see her lifeless body on the bed, surrounded by her distraught family members who were desperately praying for her recovery. But Angelica felt no fear, only a profound sense of peace and a pull towards something greater. And so it began, the moment when Angelica's soul was drawn from the confines of her mortal body, transcending the physical realm and stepping into a world beyond, a world where time and space ceased to exist as we know them, and where the divine and the demonic were waiting. Angelica found herself in a place of indescribable beauty. The colors around her were vibrant, far more intense than anything she had ever seen on earth. The air was filled with the sweetest fragrances, a symphony of heavenly aromas that filled her with a sense of pure joy. Before her stood a magnificent figure, clothed in radiant light, a figure she recognized as Jesus Christ. Jesus reached out to her, his eyes filled with love and compassion. His voice was soft yet powerful, resonating deep within her soul. "Angelica," he said, "I have something to show you. Come with me." She took his hand, and together they ascended into the heavenly realm. As they walked, Angelica saw the gates of heaven open before her, revealing a city of unimaginable splendor. The streets were paved with gold, the buildings adorned with precious stones, and the light that illuminated everything was not from the sun, but from the glory of God himself. Angelica saw angels everywhere, their wings shimmering with divine light as they sang praises to God. Their voices were a harmonious chorus, each note vibrating with the power of love and reverence. She also saw the souls of the righteous, clothed in white robes, their faces beaming with joy as they worshiped the Lord. These were the souls who had lived according to God's will, who had remained faithful and pure in heart. Heaven, in all its glory, stood before Angelica, an eternal paradise where the righteous dwelled in peace and harmony. It was a place where suffering and pain were non-existent, where the love of God permeated every corner, and where the souls of the faithful rejoiced in eternal communion with their Creator. Jesus led Angelica to a large, ornate book that was suspended in the air, glowing with a golden light. This was the Book of Life, where the names of those who had received salvation were written. Angelica saw countless names inscribed within its pages, each one representing a soul who had been faithful to God. But as she looked closer, she noticed that some names were beginning to fade.